Welcome to Wilbert You Pull It. The following video will take you through the steps that you need to do to successfully execute your job. We will go through safety procedures and all personal protective equipment. After completing the video, you should have a good understanding of how to do the job safely and effectively.
Tire processing, dismounting. Pre-work inspection. Each day must begin and end with safety inspections. Make sure your PPE is in safe working condition. Observe workstations. Be aware of any trip hazards or any unsafe objects impeding on your daily duties. Equipment must be visually inspected for any damage, leaks, wear. Tools must be in order and working properly. If anything appears unsafe, report it to your manager immediately. Tire dismounting prep. Proper personal protective equipment is required at all times. Tire dismounting prep is performed to increase the efficiency during the dismounting. Locate wheels, tires needed to be dismounted and bring to dismount machine. Prepare your workstation with the proper tools. Containers must be brought to the prep area for wheel weights, valve stems, center caps. Deflate air from tire.
To start the dismounting process, you will need to deflate the tire and let all the air out. You can do that by using the valve stem removal tool and remove the Schrader valve out of the valve stem.
Place the Schrader valve in the proper container.
You can also remove the valve stem completely with a set of pliers. Just grip the valve stem with the pliers and pry it upwards to remove the valve stem out of the wheel.
Remove wheel weights.
Next, we're going to remove all the clip-on wheel weights from the wheel. You can do that with this wheel weight removal tool. For wheel weights that are stuck on the inside of the wheel, you can use any scraper or pry bar to scrape the wheel weight off and make sure you put it in the appropriate bin.
Remove center cap. Remove the center cap and place in the proper container. Tire dismounting. Proper personal protective equipment is required at all times. Breaking down the bead.
The next step is breaking down the bead, and we'll start by rolling the tire into the bead breaker. Place the bead breaking shovel in between the lip of the wheel and the tire and press and hold. Make sure the tire is fully off of the bead before spinning the tire and doing the same thing to the backside. Spin the tire, press the pedal and hold down.
Dismounting the tire.
Now that we broke the bead between the wheel and the tire, we're going to place the assembly on the tire changing table and press the pedal down to activate the clamps.
Position dismounting head.
And we want to position the dismount head against the wheel. Lock the dismount head in place. After that, we can use this positioning screw to make sure that the dismount head is about 1/4 of an inch away from the wheel.
Pull top bead over the dismount head.
Using the tire tool, place it in between the dismount head and the bead of the tire, and then use slight pressure and pull the bead of the tire around the dismounting head. When that's done, you can push the pedal and rotate the changing table to dismount the top of the beads.
Pull bottom bead over dismount head.
Now let's dismount the bottom bead, and you want to start by lifting the tire from the opposite side of the dismount head, and then using the tire tool, Hook the bottom bead with the tire tool and pull it around the top of the dismount head. Then push the pedal to rotate the changing table to dismount the bottom bead.
Tire sorting.
Swing the positioning head out of the way. And now we'll look over the tire to see if we're ready to sell it in retail. To make sure it's good, we want to see that there are no rips or tears in the bead. There are no plugs, patches, or holes inside of the tread or on the outside of the tread. We'll then look at the tread and make sure it passes inspection. We don't want any inconsistent tire wear, any cord showing, or any problems, scuffs, scratches on the outside of the tire.
Remove the tire from the machine to the designated tire stacking area. All tires need to be neatly stacked, no higher than 4 feet. Tires not being sold can be stacked in a junk tire bin. Good tires being sold in retail must be labeled with a resale sticker and placed in the retail tire area. Wheel sorting.
So now let's sort the wheels. Aluminum wheels go in a separate bin from the steel wheels, but before we do that, we want to make sure that the valve stem is completely removed from the wheel and that all of the wheel weights have been removed as well. We want a clean wheel before it gets set in the recycling bin. Now that the valve stem and wheel weights have been removed, we want to release the clamp on the changing table and just double check to make sure the wheel is free of any wheel weights and valve stems. And now we'll grab the next wheel and tire assembly and start again.
Remove Schrader valve from valve stem with valve remover tool, or use pliers to pry the valve stem off the wheel. Using wheel weight tool, remove the clip-on weights from the rim edge. Remove the center cap and place in the proper container. Roll the tire to the bead breaker. Place the bead breaking shovel in between the lips of the rim and the tire. Press the bead breaker pedal on the tire machine to activate the shovel. Rotate the tire, wheel assembly, and repeat until the tire bead is fully off the wheel. Flip the tire, wheel assembly, and repeat. Place tire wheel assembly on the tire changing table. Press the clamping pedal on the tire machine to activate the clamp. Position the dismount head against the rim. The positioning screw needs to be adjusted 1/4 inch from the wheel to secure the correct swing arm position. Locking into place using the locking lever. Place the tire tool between the tire bead and the dismount head. Put slight pressure on the top of the tire tool to pull the bead over the dismount head. Press the table rotating pedal to activate the rotating table clockwise. After the top bead has been dismounted, remove the tire tool. Lift the tire in position. Place the tire tool in between the dismount head and bottom bead. Put slight pressure on the top of the tire tool to pull the bead over the dismount head. All tires need to be neatly stacked, no higher than 4 feet. Tires not being sold can be stacked in a junk tire bin. Good tires being sold in retail must be labeled with a resale sticker and placed in the retail tire area. Press the clamping pedal on the tire machine to activate the clamp. Verify the wheel is free of wheel weights, valve stem, center cap. Place it in the proper bin. Grab another tire wheel assembly to dismount. Repeat dismount procedure.